And she was saying how she just wants to take like a break. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And like, you're welcome to do that. But like, nope, not for me. Like, I had this year and I had pretty much free time, but I still tried to keep myself busy. But I am looking forward to doing lots of things. Like, I don't need a break. Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you have all this energy and potential and skills and talents.
Yeah, why not?
But
I mean,
now you have to figure out where to put them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the hard part,
Yep.
you know? Yeah, and for me, I'm very much a go-getter and like to be busy. And I know sometimes people say that my YouTube videos stress them out because I'm always doing things. But I have always tried to remind you that I'm not going to film myself not doing anything because that's nothing to watch.
Exactly.
You know?
I am okay with a much slower life than Megan. Like, I'm
Yeah.
okay if I have a day with no plans. Like, that's fine. I'm also scared of being too busy. So you gotta find that perfect balance of filling your schedule but not overfilling it.
Well, it was almost light out when we started recording.
The sun, there was a sunset when I walked in.
Yeah.
It looked really pretty.
I saw a quote, whatever it was, a fact that on the end of February, it doesn't get dark till 6, and it won't get dark till 6 again till October. So
oh, nice.
We've made it.
Yeah, it's just so dark, and it's past 6, so.
Oh my goodness.
We've made it through winter.
Well, welcome back to us. I was trying to figure it out. I think this is season 5. We do increments of 8 episodes, and then we take a month off.
So 2 seasons a year, kind of?
3.
3 a year. Oh.
Yeah. So this is season 5. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It makes it sound like we've been doing this forever.
It does when you do it like that. Because we started in 2021.
Yeah. But 22.
22. Yes.
Yeah, in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but since the season's only 8 episodes, it's not like super long season. So
right.
We're not as seasoned as we sound.
No.
Anyway, normally this is when we would do our life updates and all that stuff, but we'll save that for the bulk of this episode today, actually. We thought if you are popping in at the start of a new season, maybe you'd like to get to know us a little bit better. We have a lot of different life changes. Things have changed since we've recorded last. And so we want to get you guys in on the loop. And we hope to bring value through this episode too, because we want to acknowledge that homemakers come in all shapes and sizes and stages of life.
For sure.
And so I feel like you might be able to hear your life reflected a little bit in either of our stories, or maybe if you're waiting to start a family or you're looking for the right man to start your home with and all that. Hopefully you still find something today that you can relate to. And yeah, I think there's hard things and beautiful things about every stage and season of life. For sure. So we'll be getting more into that in a little bit. But first, some housekeeping notes. We are on YouTube. If you're watching, you can see us. If you go to Honey, I'm a Homemaker on YouTube, you'll find us there. And also, if you'd like to listen to, if you're just finding us now and you're like, oh man, I want to binge a bunch more episodes, you can go to meganfoxunlocked.com. Our first 3 seasons, I believe it was, we put on that channel. So you guys can watch those if you'd like to. We have a bunch of really interesting ones. We talk about Mennonites a little bit more. We're both Mennonite, of the Mennonite persuasion.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, so you can check us out there, or if you would just want to listen, you can go on Spotify or iTunes as well. And if you have any complaints about sound or audio or anything,
talk to Josh.
Yeah, that's my husband. We're just the talent.
Yes.
The looks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jana knows how to talk too. I just wanted to get the housekeeping out of the way since it's kind of my jurisdiction.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're going to do a new segment this season. And Jana, why don't you tell us a little bit about that before we get into the meat of the episode?
Yeah. Well, last season we did Homemaker Hot Take, and that was really fun, but we ran out of them. So now we are
They started to be lukewarm.
Yeah, they were lukewarm. It was like Homemaker not Hot Take. Yeah. Anyway, we are going to do Homemaker Helper, like Hamburger Helper. I know, it's so punny, but I like it.
Do you cook Hamburger Helper?
I think I have before, but the other night I made like homemade Hamburger Helper, and it was really good. The boys loved it.
Oh wow, I'm sure it's way more healthy.
Basically just like cheesy, like beefy mac and cheese.
Yeah, like beef stroganoff-y type of stuff.
Kind of,
right?
Yeah. They loved it.
I only ate it like twice in my life, and I think it was both times. If you guys have ever heard of Sharp Shopper,
yes,
that's like an East Coast like Bent and Dent type of store. I think Mom would get them when they were on sale there, and then we would eat them. But
that sounds like a very familiar experience in my mind. I'm pretty sure that's when I had it too. I might have bought it like once or twice, probably from Sharp Shopper when we lived in Denver. I have vague memories, but no, it's not a staple for us.
We're clearly super crunchy over here.
Super. Anyway, so I thought that was funny. Homemaker Helper. So basically what that means is that we're going to source content from you guys. We're going to source questions from you. If you have questions about like a trouble point in your homemaking, we're going to see if we can try to help you. Or maybe sometimes we'll have a question for you and you guys can be the homemaker helper. But tonight, I think Megan has a question that we're going to help you with.
Yes, and if you would like to submit any questions that you'd like us to answer, I know a lot of podcasts will do like an email. I decided I don't really want to set up another email, but you guys can go on Instagram to Honeyham Homemaker account, follow us there.
Yeah.
And you can send us as long of a DM as you want. You can send us a voice memo if you'd like, whatever. And Jana and I will go through those and maybe do, like, if you want to share a little more in depth your specific situation. That's always kind of fun to hear.
We'll keep them anonymous. So
We'll keep them anonymous unless you say you don't care.
Right.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Okay.
But anyway, okay, the first one we're going to answer today is a memory you hope your kids remember when they're adults from their childhood.
Something immediately popped in my mind, and I think it's what I treasure the most, and so I guess I want them to value that too. But I just kind of pictured like slow, lazy summer afternoons at the pond where I'm the cool mom and go swimming with them, or go swimming with them and their friends and help them with a rope swing, and just those carefree summer days. So that's what I think of when you immediately, what I thought of immediately when you read that question.
That's so interesting. I shared my birth story here a little bit ago on my main channel, and to get through the pain, I literally found myself visualizing my childhood swinging on the swing in the summertime, and as the pain escalated, I kept adding things to the scene, like a Where's Waldo book or something.
Yeah.
And my dad was mowing, and my mom was like picking green beans in the garden, and the puppy was running around after the butterfly. It was getting very detailed.
I can picture it. I can picture it.
I literally could smell the grass being cut and like the birds cawing overhead and everything. It was crazy, and it just felt like a safe, happy place.
I love it.
And that's kind of what I want for my kids too. Yes, I want them to remember the expensive, trips to Florida and stuff like that. They better would. That's right.
That's a given.
Yeah. But I think when you think of your childhood, you think of like the normal, mundane, things that happen often. And so I'm hoping they remember like the sunset behind the barn with Josh hitting golf balls with them, and like us going on walks on the trail, and just we have electric bikes that we like to ride a lot and stuff too. So that's actually what came to my mind, kind of similar.
Basics, yeah.
Maybe it's because we're like craving that summery time
Probably.
feeling. I don't know. But I feel like summer is full of like sensory, like you have the smells and the tastes and all that too. So I don't know. That's interesting. I would love to hear what you guys would hope your kids remember. But yeah, just that safety and predictability of those kind of things.
Yeah, so that question wasn't really like homemaker related, but it's because we didn't ask for them yet. So we just saw that question. We thought it was a really good one. It definitely made me think. So I could think of a lot of things that I hope they don't remember.
Yes, that's what I was saying too. But yeah, I think when I stopped to think about that question, it's like, wow, it doesn't even take money for the things we really hope are most important. Yeah. And I think it's that the feeling of safety and predictability that only family can really bring.
Absolutely.
Anyway, okay, so that was are we going to do a jingle for that one?
I don't know. Someone commented and said, I think when you guys watch this a couple months from now, you're going to cringe. And I'm like, yeah, I'm already cringing and I don't care.
Exactly. Oh, man. We're going to jump right into the meat of today's topics. But if you are just finding us today, you want to give them a little bit of backstory of who we are? Random girls sitting on chairs here.
Yeah, we're cousins. Megan asked me a couple years ago if I would want to start a podcast with her. And my first reaction was yes, immediately yes. But I did think about it like a second, and I decided that would be really fun, and I had absolutely no reason to turn it down. Not a valid reason anyway. So here we are, and we talk about being a Christian, we talk about being a Mennonite, we talk about being moms, we talk about being friends and wives, and just the many aspects of our life. We sit here and hash it out, and then...
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we try not to have it too rehearsed. Like, you came in the door, you held the baby, and you
looked at the baby. I didn't hold him. Not yet.
You still have some sicknesses going around, I guess.
Well, we'll just wait for a couple months yet.
But yeah, so very, like, we try to be pretty authentic and whatever else. We kind of, I feel like we mix your Sunday school teaching talents with my, like, chatty bunny trails and kind of have some kind of morphed.
Yeah, we want it to be fun and enjoyable and also meaningful. So that's kind of a hard balance sometimes, but I think we do it pretty well.
I know. It's like you want it to be entertaining, but also like worthwhile.
Right.
Not total fluff, which today's episode's leaning a little on the fluffy side.
Yeah, that's okay.
We think you'll come away encouraged. So anyway, yep, that's who we are. And we're both in our young 30s, if you were wondering.
Okay, yeah. I can say that for a little bit yet.
And I saw somebody ask, do you guys clash a lot because you seem so different? You guys will kind of see our differences as we go about talking here, but our positions in life are very different. I was like thinking about that. I was like, are our personalities that different? I don't know.
No, I would not say our
We're
personalities
both
are different.
oldest. We both, like, our moms are sisters, so we're kind of raised the same.
And even growing up, I was thinking about that too. Like, we fought some. Like, we would yell at each other and then be done. Like, we kind of fought like boys, I guess. Like, we didn't hold grudges and stuff. I mean, the maddest I can think of that you were at me was that school bus thing in high school.
Oh, yeah. And we were pretty old then.
Yeah, but you were mad at me then. But other than that, like, I can't remember too many fights.
Yeah. For the school bus, what did I do? I like went through a stop sign as it was coming out on a school bus.
Yeah,
and I don't think I realized how, like,
she didn't realize.
That's terrible.
And I tattled.
And she told my dad, which I can't go around doing that. So there needed to be some repercussions.
I think I told my mom who told your mom.
That's usually how it goes.
I wasn't like trying to get you in trouble, but I was like, I can't believe it. She probably doesn't know how bad that is.
I like that though. They're sisters, like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's nice that they still are close all these years later.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure we got snappy with each other when we were kids, but for the most part, we get along.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we don't always look at everything in the exact same vein or with the same exact outlook, but we love hashing it out and, like, whatever.
Right.
And we agree to disagree sometimes too.
Yes.
So, yeah, I have some notes here. Obviously, some big things happened in my life since we took a break in February. February is when I had my fourth baby. So I'm still in that postpartum era of, like, recovering and trying to figure out who I am again. So crazy because I was not the type of person that was, like, all about kids. I taught school. I love teaching school. I was a second grade teacher, but, like, I was actually scared to be a mom. And now here I am with 4 kids, 6 and under, and it's kind of crazy. I'm like, that's not the identity I would have thought of myself as.
Well, I just thought something crazy. Maybe it's not that crazy, but, like, you were the teacher, right? Like, you fit that role, like, perfectly. And I was always the one, like, I wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have all the kids. And now we're kind of switching because I'm, like, trending towards teaching.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. And you are, like, the mom with all the babies.
It's crazy.
And we're both happy. Like,
yeah, it's not how
you can't just, like, imagine your life out to the T, because I would have guessed that it would be reversed.
Yeah, or, like, I would have been, like, the old maid spinstery type that was, like, out doing, like,
I honestly
exotic trips and stuff like that. Like, if I had to guess.
I would have guessed that.
Because if I didn't find Josh, I probably would have said no to everybody else.
Exactly. Yep. I could see that.
Oh,
but anyway, I just thought of that, like, what am I doing? Like, trying to teach school. I mean, I'm not teaching school, but we'll get into that. But anyway. Yeah. And you're the one with all the little babies.
Well, no, I was just trying to give you, like, a little structure of what my life is. I'm trying to change, and, like, I'm not trying to change. Life has changed, and I'm trying to, like, navigate it. Like, I feel like I'm on the boogie board on the ocean, and, like, you can't control the waves. You can only control how you ride them, you know? And so I'm, like, a little bit sleep deprived if I'm not making sense all the time, or, like, you know, trying to rediscover who I am again. And yeah, that's where I'm at. Whereas Jana, you're dealing with some changes too.
Yeah, I'm also trying to figure out who I am. Again, because my youngest goes to school full time next year. He's in kindergarten this year, so I've had a year, you know, to kind of, like, ease into it. But next year I'm going to have all this time, and I need to figure out how to fill it, because I am so scared or worried that I will waste time. And I just don't want to waste time. I have all this free time. I want to be a blessing to people. I want to do something worthwhile. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to sit around at home and wait for an opportunity. I want to go find them.
That's in our bones.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a Mennonite thing or just how we were raised, but, like, the work ethic and the whole, like, having a goal and a challenge to, like, work towards, it's, like, in our blood.
I heard someone saying that was in kind of my same situation. Her kids are in kindergarten this year, and they're going to first grade full time next year. And she was saying how she just wants to take, like, a break. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And, like, you're welcome to do that. But, like, nope, not for me. Like, I had this year, and I had pretty much free time, but I still tried to keep myself busy. But I am looking forward to doing lots of things. Like, I don't need a break. Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you have all this energy and potential and skills and talents.
Yeah, why not?
But I mean, now you have to figure out where to put them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the hard part, you know? Yeah, and for me, I'm exact same personality as Jana, very much a go-getter and like to be busy. And I know sometimes people say that my YouTube videos stress them out because I'm always doing things, but I have always tried to remind you that I'm not going to film myself not doing anything, because that's nothing to watch.
Exactly.
You know? So you have to remember there's, like, sometimes days of filming that go into one video. So it's just kind of like...
And I am okay with a much slower life than Megan. Like, I'm okay if I have a day with no plans. Like, that's fine. I'm also scared of being too busy. So I feel like there's a good balance, and I do not like being stressed and too busy, but I also don't like nothing to do. So I got to find that perfect balance of filling your schedule but not overfilling it.
And with me now, it's like with 4 kids, it was crazy. After I came home with my 3rd baby, I kept right on going, and I remember I cried a lot. I was very tired. I was like, I never had baby blues with my first 2, but I think it's questionable if I did with my 3rd one. And I think it's because I was just like, I wanted to feel like myself. And so I was like doing all the things and baking the cookies and doing this and that, and like not really taking time to just like, good grief, I just ran a marathon, popped out a baby. You know, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hormone shifts and changes, and you're bleeding and like all that stuff.
And you had such a stressful pregnancy too.
Well, that was what I'm talking about with Miller. And now this time, with this one, I knew long before that, I'm like, it's going to be a change. I know that. I remember it from this last time. And I brought my baby home. I had, like you said, a stressful pregnancy. You can find more out about that on my main channel. But I talked to some of my friends, and they said that's how they were with their 4th one as well. They just wanted to be at home, hold their baby, and like not have people come over as much. And, you know, they weren't out and about. Like with my 3rd, I went shopping like 2 days in and stuff like that. It's crazy. And that's just not how I am this round. But then I feel sometimes very antsy. Like I just want to get outside, so I'm learning to like enjoy the slower pace of life and to just soak it up, and also realize that it's going to change. It's going to be spring here in just a couple of, weeks, and I'm going to wish for the slower pace again. So far, I highly recommend the whole February baby thing, because there's really not that much to miss. It's just the sicknesses that are flying around are the stressful part.
That is stressful. There's like plagues out there right now, I'm telling you. Like, it is ridiculous.
I hate to say this, but I worked in a retirement home part-time while I was teaching school and while I was in high school, and March was the killer month.
I can't imagine.
Awful. Like, I mean, people who had run down immune systems, yeah, take all those vitamins.
You can try. I mean, it can't hurt.
Risk code down
below. Do it. It can't hurt.
It can't hurt. Anyway, so there I am with my very predictable, boring, not much to say about it life, except the baby snuggles make up for all the rest of it. Jana, you on the other hand are like out there partying.
I wouldn't say that, but this past weekend I did do something that I have never done before.
I couldn't believe you said you never did this, because I have done this a couple times.
Most people have. I don't know what my problem is, but I have never, before this weekend, left my husband and my kids. Like, I've gone away with Eric and left the kids, and I've gone away with the kids and left Eric, or he's gone away for the night or whatever. But I have never gone on a girls' trip overnight. Yes, girls' evenings, girls' nights, but never overnight.
Not even like bachelorette parties after you were married?
I had one bachelorette party after I was married and have a kid. That's what I meant. Like, okay, after we had kids. I went away without Eric before we had kids, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But not since we had kids. And I took Jack with me because I think I was still breastfeeding at the time. So that would have been Steph's bachelorette that I went on and took Jack. So, no. And it's not like I was like, I'm not going to do that. It's just, I never did. The opportunity never presented itself, and I never made it happen. So this summer, I was like, you know what? It is about time that I have a girls' trip. And I was thinking, you know what? My friends really deserve this too. They need this. We're going to make this happen. So I rented a little house by the bay in Delaware, and I invited, I think there was going to be a total of 10 of us, and 2 people dropped out due to other plans, and then as the day approached that we were going to leave, I mean, poop started hitting the fan. Like,
it was like the 10 plagues.
The plagues. I mean, like, I think almost all of us had sick kids. Maybe 2 of the girls didn't have sick kids, but like almost all of us had sick kids. And which isn't the biggest deal because the husbands are watching them. They can handle sick kids.
Your friends have younger children too?
Yes. They have, some of them have older kids than me, and almost all of them have younger kids than me. All of them have younger kids than me. They didn't leave. They have some 1-year-olds that were left at home, and 2 of them brought babies.
Okay.
So wide range, lots and lots of kids between us. Like, I can't even count them. So many kids.
Twins and
2 sets of twins. Yeah, lots and lots of kids, and lots of sick kids. My boys were sick. They didn't go to school on Friday, and I had been planning to leave Friday morning after they got on the bus and get down there and kind of like open up the house and put some little treats on the bed and stuff, and just, you know, get there before them and like welcome them.
You used to work at an Airbnb, right?
Well, it was a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. And I worked at an inn too, so 2 different ones actually.
It sounds like you're channeling your inner innkeeper.
Yeah, I was thinking about how I could get down there and make everyone's bed for them, because it was one of those where you had to make your own beds, but I didn't have their sheets, so I couldn't really do that. But anyway, that was the plan, but I ended up not being the first one down there because I had to wait until Eric got home from work to be with the sick kids. Anyway, so also another catastrophe was 2 of my friends are involved in a pretty large family business. If you're local, you probably heard about it. But there was a fire, and
grocery store.
They're not like directly involved with this business, but they're part owners. So it definitely affects them one more than the other. But the grocery store burnt down the day before we were supposed to leave. So their husbands, of course, are under, stress, and that the one girl didn't end up coming down partly because of that and partly because she also had sick kids. So she never made it down then. Oh, and there was a little mini snowstorm Saturday morning. She was planning to come down on Saturday morning, but then she didn't because of the snow. So buildings burned, plague striked.
The Thursday morning, 4:30 in the morning, they had I forget how many fire trucks, like 45 different units
insane.
out. It was nuts. Like it felt like the world was burning. You could see the smoke for miles and miles.
It was a big thing for our little community. I mean,
it was my maid of honor's dad's store, and I still don't know what's all going to become of that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it affected a lot of people.
Definitely a pillar in the community, in the Mennonite community too.
It was. So it'll be, and they had just like redone the outside of the building. It looked really nice, and now it's all gone. So it's very sad. Anyway, so most of us did eventually make it down, and we had, despite freaking out about the building burning and worrying about our sick kids back at home, we ended up having like such an amazing time. At least I did. It was relaxing. I said, no one's bringing any food. We're doing zero cooking. I brought my espresso maker, and we just drank coffee. We went out for breakfast. We went to Nectar.
Oh man,
your favorite cafe.
I'm so jealous.
I knew you would be, and I got a green juice, and I thought of you.
Did you get the right one?
I think so. It was delicious.
Okay,
the one with basil in it. I think that's the one you get.
It was some kind of green, scary looking concoction.
It was delicious. And we went to Crooked Hammock the one night, and we went to a Wheelhouse. I think we went there on the golf trip 2 years ago by the water.
So no beach, anything. It was too cold.
Well, no, we didn't go to the beach, but someone, maybe me, I'm not sure, got it in our minds that we were going to do a cold plunge. And they were like, we don't feel like driving out to the beach. And I was like, well, we can do it at the bay, but it will be a cold rule, because the bay is shallow and we can't get in. The mud goes up to your knees.
There's no dipping.
No, the mud goes up to your knees and the water goes up 2 inches higher. And they're like, well, we don't feel like driving to the beach. I'm like, sure, we can go roll around in the bay. I'm game. I'll do whatever. But just so you know, like, it's not going to be fun. But that's what we decided to do, just to say we did. So same thing.
So you took a mud bath.
Yeah. Well, we went during the day instead of at night. So I think the tide was a little higher. So
it was still cold.
It was still freezing cold, and we still couldn't get like fully submerged. So we just splashed around in the water. Oh not all of us, just the brave ones. You know who you are.
Wow.
So it was
Kudos
fun.
To you.
Yeah, and then we packed up Sunday morning and went home. But it was so relaxing. We had thought maybe we'd watch movies, but we didn't even. We just sat around and talked and just relaxed, and we did some shopping. And that's about it.
Wow.
It was
Everybody
wonderful.
needs a friend like Jana to plan something. That sounds so fun. So was it 8 total that came then, or 6? I kind of lost track.
7, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's so fun.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And you guys
5,
have been
6,
friends
7.
since high school and some earlier even?
Yes.
Or mostly high school?
Mostly high school. Yeah.
Yeah, some family.
Yeah.
I loved how you said on Instagram, I'm with my Whitney, because what do you call her?
I don't know what
She's
to call her.
My sister-in-law, my cousin, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that sounds so fun. Yeah, and like there's a season for that, and I've had plenty of times like that too. And so I know there's probably going to be some things coming up in the next 3 or so months. Josh is always great with babysitting babies, but as long as I'm like nursing a kid, I'm not going to be going for too long. But I remember with like Ivani, my first one, like I would go to the beach for like a night, and I would just have to pump for 24 hours. Like every 3 hours I would pump, and my 6-month-old was at home. But it's different with like a 6-month-old than a 6-month-old plus 3 other kids.
Right, exactly. I know some of those guys had their hands full, and I think, well, the one guy, I forgot to tell this part of the story. The one dad, he called his wife, and he's like, I do not feel good. I have a fever. I have a terrible sore throat. I'm going to urgent care. Can you call your mom? So she called her mom to come watch her kids. He went to urgent care. Turns out he had strep throat. So her mom watched the kids for the rest of the weekend. Like, I'm telling you, if it could go wrong, it did. And the one girl, her daughter broke out in hives before we left, but she was still dealing with it while we were gone.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys could put it out of your mind and just enjoy it a little bit. But maybe next time you have to plan it in the summer.
Maybe. Yeah. We definitely need to do it again. So just maybe not in February.
Oh, my. Very good. Well, that's a happy news. And I was just thinking, like, I had so much anxiety with my pregnancy that's just recently ended in happy news with our little Baylor and everything. But it's been so nice to have that cloud lifted a little bit. But my one friend, she's been dealing with anxiety too, and I sent her a little WhatsApp text message with some quotes that I was trying to cling to in my hard seasons, and I thought I'd share them with you if you feel like you're dealing with some not as fun times, more anxiety, or you feel like anxiety is tainting the good times, because that can happen too.
Yeah.
And you don't know why you're feeling like this, and you're mad at yourself for feeling that way, but it just doesn't go away. So I thought I would share some of those with you here. I found these quotes all different places, and I don't know, I think they're great to put on your mirror or wherever. One is, all will be well. Another one is, worrying is like meditating on lies. Let that one sink in a little bit. Another one, I planted flowers, so I'm expecting flowers. I expect the worst all the time. Fear is a liar. And Jesus, give me peace, then joy, then confidence. So there you go. There's a little bit of food for thought.
I love that they're short.
Yes. Yeah. I think too, I just wanted to repeat them over and over when I was in labor. But when I was in labor, I found that I was actually pretty peaceful and relaxed once things started going. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so hopefully that's not you at the moment, but you can file those in the back of your brain for another time. But anyway, yeah, the whole postpartum thing is definitely a navigation thing. I've been loving my sun porch, sitting out there, feeling like the sun. You know, I can't be outside in the cold with the baby as much, but I feed him in there like every 3 hours, and like that's just the sun and the dopamine. I feel like you get dopamine, is that right?
Yeah.
Oxytocin, whatever that you get from the sun, the vitamin C, we all need that. But with postpartum, I feel like you're always in that, at least for me and Josh, I don't know how it is, but like the marriage part after having a baby is just like, we are in this together, in this like trenches in the war, and we're just like doing the things. It's like there's not much romance or like fluffy, you know, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, it's your postpartum and everything too, so whatever. But yeah, I feel like that's something that I'm like, we're being good teammates, but I'm also very glad for the stage to be over again, and we can have like a little more bandwidth, a little extra energy, and all that stuff. But at the same time, you know, we're buckling down and we're getting it done.
Yeah. I did another thing that we have never done before. We went on a marriage retreat. It was called a couples weekend with our church. We had never done anything like that before. I guess we always just kind of thought like, if we're gonna spend the money to go away, get a babysitter, we're gonna do something fun that like we want to do. Selfish reasons, right?
Trips.
But we always had a good time on those too. But this time I was on the committee, so we kind of had to go, and I'm so glad we did. It was so good. It was fun getting to know people from my church better as well. The place was beautiful. The scenery was gorgeous.
Where was it?
Penn Valley.
So it was like up in the mountains.
Yeah. Have you never been there?
I don't know. I didn't recognize the building.
Okay. Yeah, it was good. The speaker was really good, and it was he kept it really lighthearted. It wasn't heavy, and he just kept it fun, and that was really nice. And it was really good to get away for like intentional time with Eric. So we had.
What did Eric think of it?
He liked it. He said on the way, he was like, "We should do that again."
So he could sit through it. Like it wasn't like
the
I'm always the one that gets antsy at the marriage things.
No, I don't have a problem sitting, but no, he kept it short and like fun, and I really appreciated it. He was an old guy, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, but he was great. We loved him. So
was there any words of wisdom or pearls of
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot. I think what I got the most out of it is like, sometimes I can look at the people from my church and think like they have it all together, but as we were like talking and sharing and stuff, I realized that like everyone has problems, and I know that's obvious and we know that, but like even like the speaker that was talking, he would say things and everyone would laugh. Like everyone got what he was saying. And like sometimes you can think you're alone and you're the only ones that fight or have issues, but everyone does.
Yeah. So people were able to find childcare, and like, or was there a lot of older couples, or like how did you feel?
A big mix. Yeah. Some old, some young.
Oh, that's so nice. It's so fun. And like, I feel like coming through Valentine's, a lot of people might have done that, like, what is it, Weekend to Remember?
Yeah.
At least that's always in our area over Valentine's and stuff. So I think it's so fun when you're on a high or like a mountaintop experience in your marriage, or just like the fun stage. My Bible study group is going through Felicia Masonheimer and Lisa Jacobson's the flirtation experiment, and the one chapter I was just reading was about laughter, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like we used to laugh all the time. Like now we're too mature to laugh, or what? Like, you know, when we're teenagers, we're like giggling all the time, and like what I mean, I don't know if me and Josh necessarily were always giggling, but like, you know, I feel like the laughter has waned a little bit over the years.
Yeah, well, so, I remember saying like one of the main reasons that I want to marry Eric is I know he'll always make me laugh, and you know that was how many years ago, and I was like, he doesn't make me laugh as much as he used to. Like, it's not all fun, and that's good, and that's how it should be, but I think back on that and I was like, well, maybe I need to be the one to lighten the mood. I can't always count on him to be the one to make things funny. Like I can have fun too, and I can be funny.
Yeah, and sometimes when the kids do things that are so frustrating, sometimes they're actually just so ridiculous that they're funny. Like,
oh yeah, we laugh at the
if you
kids.
let it be funny. If you
Yeah.
let it be funny.
Yeah.
If you're not like just mad or whatever.
For sure.
So yeah, well, we booked a Florida trip.
I heard.
We waited till the baby came, and we're like, let's see how we're feeling. Let's see how. I mean, yeah, you just never know with a baby, and you also don't know like what kind of medical bills you're going to be dealing with. You know, I didn't have to have an epidural or a C-section or any of. You know, we're like, we're not going to book it. We'll just, if we're supposed to go, we'll be able to book something super last minute.
Yeah.
And we were able to find a place, no heated pool or anything. Which is going to be a problem because March, it's pretty cold. Yeah, like you want your pool to be heated. So we decided to get a house that has like all kinds of like there's shuffleboard in the backyard and like all kinds of like games and like a play area and stuff. And my parents are going to come down for like a week of it too. So I'm really excited.
Wait, so
for
how
that.
long are you going?
We're going to go for the week before Easter vacation and the week of Easter
Oh,
vacation.
wow. I didn't know you were going that long.
We usually go 14 days, and so this will be, again, 14 days, but it's probably our last year. Unless
you say that every year.
Well, I know, but next year we'll have 2 in school, and
Yeah.
Easter is in April, like pretty close to the end. Like,
Okay.
there's kind of no point in going to Florida at that point anymore.
Yeah. We're actually leaving for Florida on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Tell us ours is just like a family vacation, and Josh and I, like, work our butts off, so like we need to get out of the house if we're gonna relax and like have family time a lot of the time, I feel. So it's gonna just be more like chill. I'll work remotely, like I'll be editing and stuff, and Josh has a whole list of things. He wants to do some vehicle shopping, and I don't know, he has some stuff he's gonna do while he's down there, but for the most part it's just like a relaxing family trip. But what about you?
So it's kind of complicated, but we have a friend who's getting married down in Florida.
Who? Eric and you?
It's Eric's friend, but he's my friend too.
Okay.
He's getting married to a girl in Florida, so the wedding's going to be down there, and then they're moving up here, which is fun. But I kind of wanted to take the boys because they're not invited to the wedding, but I wanted to take them because we don't go to Florida very often. We went, was that 20?
We went together 2 years ago, I
Yeah.
think it was, and it was the worst weather. I felt so bad for Jada, but we had that hot tub, so that was fun.
It was a great time. I had a great time, but Eric and I have been traveling a lot lately, and I was like, I just feel like we need to take them with us. Like, we haven't been away as a family for a while. So we decided we're going to try to take them with us, but then we're like, what about the wedding? Who's going to watch them during the wedding? And another friend wanted to take her boys too. They're also going down for the wedding. And I was like, what if we paid someone, or not paid someone, but paid for someone to go with us, and then they can babysit one day and then have the rest of the time to do whatever they want. So I talked to my cousin, and my Annie nanny is going to come with us, and she's going to watch my boys and my friend's boys for the wedding. She's going to help us travel down there because my friend is coming without her husband because she wanted to have a couple extra days in the sun and he couldn't make it. So she is going to come with her 2 little boys, and then Dallas is going to fly down later. So Annie is going to help with the kids.
How old is Annie?
Annie is Tori's age, so like early 20s.
Okay, so like a single girl?
Yeah, she's single. She just got back from Thailand. She was in Thailand with Stephanie.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
she's like a traveling
she's
nanny.
a
That's like living the life.
I know, right? She's a traveling Annie nanny. So very excited about that. It's just a short trip. We're leaving on Wednesday and coming back on Sunday. So just a short trips. But I think hopefully we can soak up some sun. Our house does have a pool, but I forgot to check if it was heated. And I went back in the listing and it doesn't say. So I'm assuming it's not.
Well, your boys are older. They'll probably just not even care.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a fail, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to go to the beach at least once.
Sarasota, Florida is like a mecca of like, well, there's like a Mennonite community down there, I guess, too. But there's also like a lot of Amish go down there and like tour buses and stuff. It's really like, I was going to say Amish accessible. What do I mean? But like they can get off their coach bus and they have everything there for them.
Right.
Like their bikes and all their, they don't need their license to get places.
Actually, the guy that's getting married is an owner, or the owner's son of Mellard Coach, the one that
the
goes
coach buses. So he
the
like
coach
goes
buses.
back and
So
forth on the buses.
that's not how he met her. He met her through Whitney, who hooked them up. But he can see her. He can see her a lot. That's kind of how they dated. He would go down, take a load down, and see her then. I don't know.
Get to see his
but
girlfriend.
he is the coach bus guy. So
That's so funny.
they have coaches just for the wedding going down that you can catch. We talked about doing that, but that sounds kind of miserable. So.
Yeah, which here's a little Mennonitism. I don't know if this is like common for everybody else or not, but for the most part, when a couple that is long distance gets married, you get married in the girl's state, in the girl's church, or the girl's area, and then you move to the guy's area because he's the breadwinner traditionally, and he's the one making the more money. I don't know. I feel like a lot of Mennonite girls are like working at what? Delis or or like banks. I guess you worked at a bank, or like teaching school or like whatever. And so usually they're moving to the higher income.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like Mennonite women that are like uprooted from their moms and have to
like
it
is
move.
sad. It's very sad.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that a normal thing? I don't know. Does that sound like mean? Guys are uprooting their wives, but I feel like, yeah, is that a Mennonite thing or just
I
a
don't
normal
know
thing?
if it's Mennonite or not.
Yeah,
really
I guess
know.
you just have to decide among yourselves where you're gonna.
And I feel like sometimes, you know, they're there for a couple years and then they may end up moving back too. Like it's not like they have to live there for the rest of their lives.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad our families live close.
Oh, I know. Me too.
It is one of the biggest blessings to have a grandma down the road.
I think so too.
So I think we'll give a little bit of like a career update for each of us before we close out here. For myself, I'm still doing YouTube. I got a lot of videos edited ahead of time, which was super nice. Like I did like a house tour and some things that are like not as time sensitive. And so that was really nice. But now I'm just staying on my schedule so that I can take off when we're in Florida, because I like to get a video out every week. But I was editing my birth vlog here of Baylor, and I went back and watched Miller's big mistake. So my daughter gets off the bus and comes in the door, and there her mom is sitting in front of the laptop, just tears streaming down my face. Like my eyeballs were just bawling. I was watching Miller's birth vlog and I just was like losing it. And then I was telling Josh later, I was like, I think I scarred our daughter. She got off the bus and I was just like a basket case. And I started telling him about it and I started bawling again.
And you're crying now too.
Just like thinking about, oh, it was so sweet. Yeah, like anyway, something that I noticed, like I was like, okay, I was definitely dealing with anxiety this past pregnancy, because just watching that birth vlog back, like I was so proud of myself from 2 years ago. I was like, wow, I was such a brave, stoic, like rational, level-headed person back then. And like, where did she go? Where did she go?
She'll be back.
Yes. And I know I'm still in postpartum mode right now. So like the hormones are still like not all together there, but I'm like, I admire myself from 2 years ago. And how can I get back to that point again? You know? Yeah. Anyway,
I have no doubt you will. You will.
Anyway, what about your career life update?
I don't know. Like, I still don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I feel like this week I've had some more clarity. I thought about maybe I could teach full time. Like, maybe I could do that. And I sat with that for a little while, talked to Eric about it. He didn't say I couldn't. He's like, if that's what you want to do. But he's like, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to work full time.
A little background, Jana volunteers at her kid's school, like weekly,
twice
often.
A week right now.
Just volunteering.
Yeah.
And now they've been calling you in to substitute teach, like,
pretty
regularly.
So I agreed to be on the list to substitute teach a while ago. And I've done it 2 times now. Yeah, 2 times. And I'm planning to teach 5th grade tomorrow as a sub. So, and I love it. Like, it's been so much fun. That's why I thought, well, maybe I could full-time teach, but I don't think that is going to be, like, I think I could do it, but I don't think it's going to be the best thing for my family. And
I think with your skills and stuff you could, but I think with your personality, it would be a lot.
It would be a lot. And Joelle was like, well, I guess we'll change schools then because you're not qualified to teach my son. So I guess it's out.
Your sister.
Yeah.
That's her
my
sister.
My sister said that. So, ouch. But yeah. She's right. It would be a lot, and hopefully they can find someone with better experience. So
yeah, as far as like
more experience,
Mennonite schools, there's as many genres of Mennonites that there is out there. There's about that many genres of Mennonite schools.
Yes,
you know, and so where I send my kids to school, and I think where you do too, they're different schools, but their teachers are accredited. They've been to college and things like that, or whatever. But I think there's a certain percentage. If you are an accredited school, that doesn't actually have to have like a BA or whatever. Bachelor.
Yeah, there's a certain percentage that have to have their degree, and a percentage that they don't have to.
Like the art teacher or like different stuff like that.
Like for subbing, even in a public school, I don't think you need your degree. It depends by the district, but like they're so desperate for subs that
they just want a warm body up there.
Yeah, pretty much. And like it is really easy. Like the lesson, I mean, especially if they're prepared to be out, you know, they have it's easy as far as like the academic part. Like you have all the answers, and they even have like the curriculum has a script. Like,
well, when I taught school, we actually had to have 3 lesson plans drawn up at the beginning of the year for last minute emergencies. Okay. So they were like not time specific. Okay. Like you had all the supplies, everything ready there to go. Like
that's awesome. Yeah, the times that I did it, both of the teachers had things like pretty well prepared for me. I wasn't like rooting around looking for things. It went really well.
Rooting around.
Is that Dutch?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, I really loved it. But then I think if I was in charge of the lessons and coming up with things, it would be completely different. So I'm hoping to do more subbing. Maybe I thought maybe I could even reach out to some other local Mennonite schools and, you know, fill my schedule with that. And Eric's like, he's like, you don't have to work. Like, why don't you just keep volunteering? And he's like, just help people like you're doing, and people will know if they need help, they can call Jaina. And I was like, I really like that. So
yeah.
So for now, like, that's kind of the plan.
And if you hate it, well,
yeah, I can always pivot. And
yeah.
if a part-time job comes up that sounds really fun and like it would work with my schedule, I'm definitely open to that. But for now, I'm just gonna say yes on a daily basis when opportunities come along. Say yes when I can. So
you don't ever think about going back to the bank? Like, you used to be a bank teller back in the day.
No,
not
I mean,
for you.
No, it's too like political, and like I need to be.
Are you looking for almost more of like a mission?
Yeah,
like something that you can really sink your teeth, like feel like there's some
like
meaning behind it.
I don't think the bank. I'm sure they would hire me, but like I don't think they really want me as an employee because I'm not going to be dedicated to the job. I'm dedicated to my family.
That's
that
true.
comes first. And like with school, that also is my family because my kids go there. So, and it is like, I view it as, you know, a way to reach out and be of service. So I don't think the bank would be the place for me. I mean, sometimes like, oh, it would be kind of fun to be a professional again.
Well, that is exciting. I feel like you have lots of skills and you will find your spot at some point. Yeah. And I have to think about it too. Like, wow, us as women, we get to like redefine ourselves so often. Yeah. But then I feel like, at least especially in the Mennonite community, the men are like in this career for their whole life. And yeah, it's nice that we get to redefine ourselves sometimes, and like change is unsettling. Yeah, but it's also super exciting.
But I know plenty of men that have redefined their careers and they're successful. Like Uncle Charlie, how many different like career paths has he had?
Oh, that's true.
And he just gets tired of something, goes on to the next thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we want to hear from you in the comments. We thought it'd be fun if you would describe your career in 3 words.
Or your position in life.
Yeah. And homemaker definitely counts.
Yes.
So,
and postpartum basket case works too. So yeah, we'd love to know, like,
how
many
many kids. Tell us what you do.
Sorry, we're losing our mojo.
We really are. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, you know, single, married, how many kids, grandma, whatever. We'd love to know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.